My name is Reed Linwood. I'm going to be presenting my partner organization audit today for DannyTheDoula.com, and let's dig right into it. This is the logo for DannyTheDoula.com, which that's Danielle Sinkoski, a friend of mine. First thing we're going to look at is the analytics told a lot of the story with her website. She gets a lot of traffic, and a lot of it is new users. As you can see, of the 154 users during February 28th to April 19th, 152 of them are new users. She gets a lot of referrals from different birthing websites as well as Facebook. So the traffic is really being driven by new people, and they're staying for a decent amount of time. Looks about 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Bounce rate of about 50%, not too bad. But this was the part to me that was quite eye-opening. No traffic from search engines whatsoever. And that was just, it's a no-brainer that we need to take advantage of this. And this was a great selling point for the whole thing, to be able to say, okay, like, you're literally not getting anything from unique searches. We can help you with that and do some things that will make that a much easier possibility. So for some highlights of the on-site SEO audit, one of the main things I looked at on the website was the title tags. Those images are cut and pasted right from her website, and they're all just very short. Home, placenta encapsulation, birth doula. There's no description. They're not really taking advantage of that, 70 characters obviously is the limit, but about 60 is the sweet spot, and all of them are very, very short. Also, a keyword followed by a brand name is what's really recommended. And specifying that information, the tags, will attract consumers to the site. You're going to be able to, when the results come up in a search engine, they're going to see a better description of what's on that page and what's available and what the site's about. And that's also going to be caught by the search engine algorithms that much easier. So. Also on the on-site SEO highlights, the meta descriptions, Danielle actually did not have any meta descriptions whatsoever when we started out. None of her pages had a meta description of the 9 separate pages that kind of make up her website. 160 characters are available for the meta description, so yeah, there's tons of room to work with. So that's one of the biggest things there, is that there needs to be some content there, and it's just another thing that's specifying more of that information. It gives more information for the search engine algorithms to capture and recommend the site, and it gives a bigger description for any consumer when they pop up the website and they see a better description of what the site is. I mean, if they just see Danny the Doula, it's like, okay, they know what a doula is, but they don't know where this person actually has services at. Like, are they in their area? They really don't know anything from that. So definitely was something that stood out, and for something to be corrected. So also on the on-site SEO, alt text for images. Of all the images on the website, none of the images actually had alt text. So that was, alt text obviously is crucial for people who are visually impaired. It'll show up on their site readers so they actually can read what the image is, since they can't see it. And search engines, use those alt image descriptions to better understand the content of the website. And if the search engine's better understanding that content, there's a much better chance that they're going to have the result for your page be one of the first. Another key thing, the alt text also helps if the page loads slow or incorrectly, or if it's on, a different format, like certain cell phones, different things. It's very important to have that information. If anything, it's a placeholder so that you even know an image is there. So that is definitely crucial. And yeah, unfortunately on her site at the moment, she did not have any alt tags whatsoever. For the offsite SEO highlights, the NAP analysis, there's no physical address for the business, so that made things a little bit difficult for Google My Business and Bing for Business. We did actually, I'm working with her. We did get a code to try to do that and get her added into that. But as far as the other information, that can remain consistent, the email is always displayed the same way, which is nice. The phone numbers are consistent. The titles of the page and how the website is listed is consistent. So no physical address made this analysis kind of difficult for me, but we just kind of went with the things that we did have and tried to see if there could be any improvements to that. But for the most part, things were very uniform and pretty good. Another highlight of the offsite SEO, the competitor-based performance analysis. The website actually, it didn't have as many backlinks as some of the local doula sites, but really, it had a great citation flow. It was pretty competitive and pretty close in every form, and it blew those other sites away as far as Facebook references and things like that. So it is competitive with doula sites locally. I think the middle site there is really kind of one of the top ones out there. So to even take have one category where they're doing a little bit better in was kind of a big victory. She was very excited to see that information. So social media and video. For social media, her Facebook page is a big part of her brand. It draws a considerable amount of traffic and referrals. It has over 800 likes. She doesn't have any other social media currently. No Twitter, no Instagram, anything along those lines. She does everything on Facebook, and she has a space for recommendations. She shares a lot of different stories and information and news stories, that type of thing. So she has kind of a nice community that she's built on Facebook, but definitely some room to maybe expand to some new things, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So as far as the recommendations went for the title tags, I just tried to show her that having the actual title, like the About Me, Contact Me, or for instance the homepage, is good, but then you want a brand. So, having like Danielle Sinkoski, doula, Twin Cities, northern Minnesota, something that takes advantage of all 60 characters, and it also is consistent and tells you, who this person is, what they do, what area they serve. So that was my recommendation. And that's, just another thing where search engines are going to be more likely to return results from your page as it has more words and info to deal with that description for the site. So really on every page of the site, I recommended that we expand these title tags and everything so we get closer to that 60 character sweet spot instead of 4 characters, 8 characters. I think the longest one was maybe 12 characters. So really needed to make use of that space. Other recommendations, meta descriptions and alt text, just to make sure to include alt text for all images and just how important that was, and to make sure to make use of meta descriptions for each page, that try to come as close as you can to the 160 character limit. I think that was one of the parts that she was kind of the most surprised at, that really drove search engine traffic, and that could make such a big difference as far as attracting people to her site. And so that was kind of, as far as what I could tell anyway, one of her kind of favorite parts of the report as we were going over it was to see, okay, really, this is a pretty easy thing to do, and it will, make a big difference. So one of the bigger things that we talked about as far as recommendations for social media and video, She has some great opportunities on her site to use more video. She has a long page of testimonials from different customers that she's worked with, that type of thing. She could very easily, shoot that as a testimonial video. She often has different expectant mothers and everything that are willing to, help with that type of thing as far as it volunteering their time and, being willing to put that information in. So, and the other part was maybe like an about me video just to, help people get to know her better, that type of thing. So, yeah, that is all my recommendations and my presentation there, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.